Apocalypticism from anywhere. I'm going to talk specifically about from Jesus in this video, though. The end of the world, the end of time. Jesus taught that. Why? How did that work? You know what? You look at it today, and I remember cartoons as a kid growing up, some hippie standing on the corner holding a sign, "Repent ye sinners, for the end is near." And I realized that's what that is. I can see Jesus standing there at the end saying, "Repent ye sinners, for the end is near." I didn't catch that back then, that they were spoofing off of that. But Jesus was right. People don't understand him. This is not literal. People will take Jesus' verse and go, "Boy, that's very cryptic. I'm going to work on understanding that. Oh, the end is near. I'm not going to do anything with that except say the end is near." We're all over the place with Jesus' work. We have to manage it all the same way. And if we manage Jesus' verses as if we are managing any master's verses from antiquity that is teaching us how to improve our lives, if we give them all the same process, we're going to extract how we see that the end is actually near. And I want to share my ideas and my own interpretation on that in this video, and I'm going to just cut right to it. I try to always explain how and why I get here, and I realize if you can get here, you're going to get here. If you can't, it doesn't matter. So people click off while I'm explaining things. I'm just going to go straight there. This is about improving your life now, about a rebirth now. How's your life? Where did you come from? Personally, I grew up where I was in a Christian home, but it was abusive. Very abusive. My brother and I would pray to God at night, "Please make it stop. Please come and make the beating stop, the whippings, the abuse, that you kids are stupid. You're so damn dumb. You're never going to amount to anything. Get out." While somebody went into a rage and whipped you. And at the age of 11, my older brother learned about heaven in Sunday school, and I found him that day. He'd hung himself in the woods. He wanted to go to heaven. That's where my life started. And it didn't stop. And I was in a lot of trouble early in life. Imagine that. Where do you come from? You're an angry kid. Is it your fault? That's what you were given. You got nothing else. You were born a clean slate. And you were given that as your operating system. At some point in time in your life, you go, "My God, what am I going to do? How do I heal myself?" And you start an inward path. That's when the end is near. When you start that path, it's the end of your world, the end of your hell, the end of your life. The spiritual seeker is going to find that nested in here. They're going to find it nested in Buddhism too. There's something that Buddha teaches. You know, we start out having a very difficult life and we want to resolve that. So there's a process that you go through in Buddhism, and I'm not going to do that in this video. To get to a point where you're trying to achieve a state of nirvana, that's just a state of mind where you're let go. You're not living frazzled, hurt. You're not acting out. You're not attached to everything. You've let that go. In Christianity, that same teaching emerges in Jesus' teachings. However, it's packaged in a different way. In Buddhism, there's no doubt what you're doing. No doubt what you're carrying. No doubt what the religion is. It's an inward turning path, period. You don't turn it over to Buddha and say, "Please save me." Buddha teaches, "I'm a human like you. This is how you heal yourself." Jesus is the Son of God. You can't do that, right? No, Jesus is a human if he existed. And this material is teaching the same thing, simply held in a different way. If you want to seek the kingdom of heaven within, you must have a rebirth. If you want to get in God's good graces by leaving your gift at the altar, but you remember that you've got issues upstairs before you, I know I'm paraphrasing this, but this is what it really comes down to. It's not just ought against your brother or argued with somebody. Think of your mind. You got ought against the beginnings of time. You want to seek the kingdom of heaven within? That has to be gone. That has to be cleared out. That's the mote in your eye. That is the dirty cup. That is the old wineskin that you cannot put new wine into. Jesus obscures his teaching in a way that we're supposed to extract something else out of there. And the idea that we get to there when interpreting his verse and suddenly say, "Oop, he's coming back any day now," that's wrong. I even watch biblical scholars, There is a massive amount of material out there on whether this stuff is true, it's anonymous, whether it's, it was really written. There is something in here for the spiritual seeker. Take the material, bring it inside. It's about me. It's about you. It's about our path, nested in a way to be carried by the masses who will never turn it inward. Is there something beyond? I don't know. But there's something within right now. And the instructions tell us to rectify that. That's what I'm doing. I'm not waiting for Jesus to physically return. I'm going to follow his path. He's pointing a way. Do what he says. Who tells you to just worship him? Not Jesus. Okay, somebody back then, 30, 40, 50 years after this material showed up, said, I talked to him and he said this, so here's what you must do. I don't buy that. I don't buy that Jesus taught one thing and then later on somebody's modified that. I mean, think about that. Whether you think Jesus is a master guru or the Son of God, if he laid out a list of things to do and somebody came along later and said, just worship him, boy, I'm not going to, that just seems crazy to me. Why would somebody slacken the requirements? And then what do we end up with? People carrying crosses and smashing down doors, wearing camouflage in the name of God. Yeah, that's horrific. That's not what Jesus taught. You want to know what I see when I watch? When I see that, I see people who grew up like me and never found a way to fix it. Well, hope this was fun up till the end there. Love one another. See you in the next video.